Hello and welcome to a new episode at Etc. Podcast, your favorite podcast for medical tourism. Today, we are blessed by the attendance of a very unique talent from medical tourism. Someone who was able to climb the ranks from sales agent to team leader to business development, sales trainer, and right now, finally, a clinic coordinator. He brings a lot of experience to the table and a lot of records. Today, we will learn more about his records specifically in the area of clinic sales. In other words, upsales. How was he able to break these records? How was he able to make these numbers? And way more in today's episode. So tune in and help me welcoming our guest for today, Ammar Al-Khaledi. Ammar, thank you so much for attending today's podcast episode.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored by your invitation.
We're so happy that you are here, and let me kick things off with a very general question, one that can get our audience to know you better. How did you get into sales? And more specifically, how did you get into medical tourism?
Good question.
Well, basically, it's a kind of a funny story because I've always considered myself as an introverted person. So it was a bit of a challenge for me. I started in medical tourism. Actually, I started in real estate.
Yeah. A lot of people started in real estate first, yes.
The golden time.
As a telesales agent. And then I found a very, very good opportunity in medical tourism. So I said, why not give it a shot? It was also a telesales position, and I started there.
And you were able to climb the ranks from sales agent to team leader to sales trainer. That's a lot of positions to go through.
I was lucky and blessed.
And I'm sure that the amount of work that you have done was phenomenal as well. I mean, you have a great reputation, and more so in upsales. Like, there are stories about Ammar making an upsales that is double the amount of the original procedure.
Yeah.
How do you do so? Like, can you walk me through an example of a store or a story where you were able to to upsell the double of the procedure cost?
Well, honestly, Fateh, there's no specific method that I follow. Every patient has a different story. I mean, it varies from someone to someone else. But I can tell you this. Always the key of having a good upsells is good coordination and preparation.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Preparation, basically, most people think that upsell starts when the patient arrives at the clinic. That's actually not very accurate. It starts way before. So first things first, there must be a good coordination between the salesperson.
It's the patient's journey.
And the
in
office,
the clinic.
exactly.
Yes,
It's the patient's
that's
journey
important.
completely as a whole. That could help you achieve more upsells, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Basically, the better coordination you have between the hospital department, let's call it, and the back office or the telesales department, the better chance you have to add upsells.
Because he start the first conversation with the patients. He start with him in the beginning.
And
so
can you-
he know the mentality of these patients.
And can you give us a specific case, for example, from your work? I'm sure you had hundreds of patients in the clinic and you had to upsell a lot of them. Of course, not every upsell is possible, but can you give us a story about one of those who you upselled so good that you broke a record with them?
Yeah, definitely. Well, basically, let's call that patient X.
Okay,
Mr. X,
that's much better.
okay?
Yeah.
And the sales agent, let's call him Mr.
Y.
Mr. A.
Mr. Talk about privacy. Yeah.
So usually what happens is that I contact Mr. A and I request a somewhat detailed message as a brief about the case.
So Mr. A is the sales agent of this
Exactly.
patient.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I ask for a brief, basically, about this patient. For example, what is his personality color? For example, how is he like? Is he assertive?
Personality color.
Definitely. That would be very helpful, by the way, to be able to read your patient according to a previous observation. Because that salesperson have spent quite some time, I know like on the phone, but still, they have negotiated, they have talked, they have created some chemistry. So I would get details about the deal itself and about the patient himself. How is he like? Did he mention anything in specific? Did he ask for a special request or something? So the more prepared the upseller is, the better chance he has.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And then you were prepared, you had a case where you were where the synergy was so good, you were prepared so well that you made a huge upsell?
I'm getting to that in a moment.
Yeah.
So basically, I get prepared. Then, of course, the upsells, like I mentioned earlier, starts way earlier than the patient arrives or the patient arrival time. So basically, I ask the telesales to mention to the patient that there could be an opportunity or a chance that the medical team or the doctor would prescribe something or recommend something beside
It's
hair
too much
transplant.
important like, to
It's
mention
very,
this.
very
Yeah,
important.
and
The
to
patient
make
can
an
prepare himself also in same time.
Exactly.
to make a note to our audience, Ammar is mainly right now specializing in hair transplant upsells.
Yes.
So to clarify this, because everything he's gonna say will be about hair transplant. Yes, please.
So basically, I noticed that most of the cases that I was not able to add or to upsell were giving me the same exact answer all the times. I wish that I've knew about this earlier. I would have prepared
Yes.
myself.
Yeah, makes sense.
I would have prepared my limit, or I've prepared my card, or I've brought more cash, etc., etc. So the preparation starts way ahead for both sides, the patient and the upseller. So the patient comes, I meet him. Of course, I read the brief. The more details you have about the patient, the
The
better
more
you are
upsells you
prepared.
can make.
Of course,
Right?
of course.
So I go and I introduce myself, of course, presenting myself in a certain
First
certain
impression.
way.
First impression matters a
The
lot.
first impression last. First impression is last impression all the time. So basically, I present myself. I basically introduce myself, and then I step back to observe this patient. How does he carry himself? How does he move around? Body language. Where is he looking? What is he checking? Is he, for example, you may know that we provide a contract before the
Yeah, consent contract.
consent
Yeah,
form,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So some patients they would go through it like swiftly. Some
Some
patient would go
read
like
it one by
really in
one.
detail.
Yeah, yeah.
That really matters because that tells you a lot about that person
Yes.
sitting in front of you. Once the observation is done, I take him to the theater. The theater, I call it, because
That's
it's
the juicy part.
really a theater. Yes, definitely there is a medical part. He's meeting a doctor. He's getting information about his operation, etc., etc. But at the same time, he is basically entering a domain that will either create trust and comfortness, or it's going to scare him off. So the theater must be on point. That includes all of the players: the doctor, the translators, the medical team member that is with the doctor, etc., etc. So I make sure to show the patient that we are fully briefed with all the details necessary for his case, and we show the patient or the client that we really care about all the necessary details that are related to his case. For example, taking notes, taking pictures for the microscopic observation that is happening.
Getting more deep in details.
Exactly.
To add a note to our audience, if you have ever seen Ammar's room where he make the upsells, everything is set over there in a strategic way. Every single product, every single object, even the painting on the wall has a purpose. All of this is part of Ammar's theater.
It basically helps because, as you know, the psychology plays a huge role.
Of course,
In
of
sales.
course.
Yes. Especially the approach, like the upsells part.
Exactly. And the subconscious mind, human beings are walking on autopilot 85% or 90% of the time. When you drive your car, when you walk around, you're on autopilot. You only use your brain or the specifications of your brain when you're really deep thinking about something. So basically, everything should be on point. Everyone must be sharp. The patient must feel that he is the center of everything. And he is the most important person in the room. After that, once this theater is done, we go to my part, which I take the patient. I explain to him in details what the doctor have said, etc., etc. The cells start basically when the patient
Understand?
I try to create curiosity
Okay.
in the patient's mind. And as you may know, I focus on, let's say, 5 different products
Yes, of course, of course.
after for the hair transplanting, basically. So the way to put things clear for me to basically make a way for me to walk on is to listen what the patient has to say. So every time I have a chance to ask open-ended questions, to give the patient time to talk, to express himself. What are your expectations from this operation? What are you waiting from this operation? Why are you doing this, etc., etc. The better I get to know him, and that
Of course.
helps me a lot.
Of course, yeah.
Does that answer your
Great.
question?
Yeah, that answers my question. And
I'm
Omar,
gonna
do you have
clarify
anything?
something. We mentioned about the patient's color. So to make it more clarify here.
Yes.
Patient's color, that's the fourth persona that's we mentioned.
Exactly.
Not the patient color like
Oh, I
myself.
said patient. Oh my god.
So I have this
The
color.
patient personality color, everyone, please.
Personality
Yes.
type. Let's go.
Yes, yes, the personality type.
Personality.
Yeah, and Ammar, I want to ask you this. Since you have already filled the position of a telesales and the position of a clinic coordinator, definitely you understand that there's difference in communication between these two. And
Huge.
as someone who worked in sales in the office can be a master seller. Put them in the clinic and they won't be able to upsell a vitamin kit. Same time, take the best seller from the clinic and give them a phone and they might not be able to deliver their ideas correctly. Selling face to face, how does it change the concept from the telesales?
Thank you for this question. This is a very important question, actually. As you know, in telesales, you work on your tonality, you work on your sales pitch, you work on the way that you breathe, the way that you order your information.
Ideas, yes.
Exactly. In person, there's a lot more to that. But it's not tonality, it's body language. It's the way that you are making the eye contact with your patient.
Yes. Body language has a huge part in the face-to-face sales or in the upsells because patients cannot see us over the phone, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But in face-to-face, and this goes back to the theory of Albert Mehrabian of verbal and nonverbal communication, where he says that tone of voice is 5 times more important than words. Body language is more important than words, more important than tone of voice, more important than anything in communication. So the way that I see it, a very powerful posture, a very well-studied hand gestures, or even body movement, all can play a huge part in making the upsell of the patient. Am I correct?
I totally agree. For example, if you want to sell someone, they must like you first. I mean, you can go back to you can go through your memory. Have you ever bought something from someone that you don't like?
Of course not.
So you have to like them. And in order to also sell more, you have to create a place that the client must feel the need to belong to. If this place is inviting, if this theater is in a level that the patient would like to belong to, then that's going to make also the job easier. Now, definitely, like you have mentioned, body language, good strong posture, well-studied hand gestures and eye contacts are very, very important. But at the same time, energy spreading. So the patient is watching you while he is in the lobby, for example. And if you're always talking with other patients, smiling, having good energy, spreading good energy, then the patient would like you, and he would want to spend
curious, like,
time with you, basically. So
Yeah.
that's going to make your job easier because he wants to hear you. He will not ignore the informations that you're giving, or he will not be bored, basically. Yeah.
Such an incredible point that you have to be wary, even if you're not in direct contact with the patient. The idea of you being in the clinic is you being watched the entire time, you being analyzed the entire time. So that's a phenomenal point that I think our audience.
For me, the difficulties that I have when I'm hiring, when I interviewing someone who have been done both the clinic sales and the office sales, when I'm asking them like, what you gonna choose, which one? Most of them are saying clinic. So that's for me, like, I'm using my body language. It's like more interesting, more energy, and hyperactive job. Like, you speak with the patient, you meet them like face to face. You have a lot of weapons to use. like not just the tone, the voice that he has.
Exactly.
So
I'm not going to say it's easier than doing the telesales.
Yes.
They're different.
Can we say this, Ammar? Can we say that you can take a telesales to the clinic, but you can never take one from the clinic to telesales? By the way, in my career, I think I didn't witness ever someone going from the clinic to the telesales, but I witnessed a lot of people shifting from telesales to clinic. So do you think is that a rule? Because just like Omar said, you feel more restrained when you are talking only over the phone. Well, you have a lot of energy and character to show, but you cannot show it. So do you agree with me that you can take telesales to the clinic, but you cannot take clinic to the telesales?
I do agree, and for a very interesting reason, actually. Because when you are working as a telesales and you move on to, let's say, a face-to-face sales, then you feel less restricted. You feel more free. And you have a room to explore and to develop your skills and sharpen your weapons. But when you do the opposite, you feel the exact opposite. You feel that you were free and now you have
You
only
put
a little bit of cards
box.
that you
Yes.
will be able to use,
Yeah.
like tonality and the way that you present yourself on the phone. And most of us, we are better in person than on the phone.
Then on the phone. Yeah, most of us.
Most of us.
yes.
maybe that's why mostly of them they ask me like, when my patients came, can I go to clinic to meet them? Maybe gonna use his last weapon.
Yeah.
His patients.
Show
to
his
conv-
body language.
Like to convince him more. Maybe that's why they are going to clinic.
Because you can spend like a week talking to a patient on the phone to create some bond. The same bond can be created within 2 minutes
In the clinic.
In the
Indeed.
clinic,
if
yes.
you know
Yes.
how to do it.
But how's this for a point of view, Ammar? Like, I've seen this a lot, and we even made a video about it, that sellers in the office should not go and try to upsell their patient in the clinic.
Of course.
Exactly, right? The reason why is once a deal is closed, whether it was over the phone, over email, or whatever the case is, once a deal is closed, the same person will not be able to reopen it. You need fresh blood. You need someone dedicated in the clinic. But if the agent from the office goes, most of the time they just go to say hi to their patients. Say, yeah, I am
Yes,
Harry. I'm the
maybe.
one who spoke to you over the phone.
I'm here.
Exactly, I'm here. But to upsell them, you would require a different breed. Beasts in the clinic would be able to do this. But telesales, I saw that the success rate is very low compared to dedicated clinic sales agents. What do you think?
I totally agree actually with that. But I have a different point of view. Basically, the patient have spent some time with this telesales
Telesales.
Yeah.
person, basically. So he feels safe. He feels that he's the only one that he knows in this
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
So once that person arrives to the clinic, the client is going to shift from the salesperson to that person to use him to convince the salesperson to give him more discount or to lower the amount of products that he's trying to sell,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Yeah.
Most successful salespeople, they have some. I'm not gonna call it aggressiveness. I'm gonna call it assertiveness.
Assertiveness, yeah, of course.
You have to be assertive.
The ability to confront.
Exactly. You have to be assertive to be able to make the sale. You have to challenge the person in front of you. Now, of course, taking under consideration the personality type of that patient varies from someone to someone else, and there's a lot of ways that you can do that. But you must have some assertiveness. That assertiveness cannot be done in the clinic by the telesales agent and I'm not saying that because the telesales agent does not know how to do that. Maybe he does better than I do. But because of the bond that they have
was built.
created,
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe more
It's not
have more
good.
empathy with them. Like,
Exactly,
okay, we can make it. He will like try to think about more solutions, like
Yeah.
to make maybe discounts.
The
maybe,
telesales
like-
agent will become more agreeable
Yes.
than the clinic agent, right? Because the clinic agent's fresh blood. They can confront, they can say no, they can be assertive, but the telesales agent will become more agreeable. Talking about this, Ammar, we also notice something in clinics. Unfortunately, sometimes it's individuals, sometimes it's clinics. We notice that there is an unethical line that is being stepped on when doing upsales. And I've witnessed this, to be honest, in multiple occasions where I've seen that the upseller pushes the patient with intimidation in order to make upsales. Now, definitely that's completely unethical. Now, knowing you and working with you, I've seen you doing phenomenal upsales, and you are doubling the amount of the procedure, maybe by once, maybe by twice, maybe by 3 times. At the same time, by the end of the procedure, the patient is leaving a 5-star review. So there is something that you are doing that maybe others are missing, because the way that I'm seeing it, either nice way, little upsale, or intimidation, high upsale. But apparently you figured out a way where it is high upsale and 5 stars review. What are you doing? Like how?
There are unfortunately some people that are using these unethical ways of applying pressure to the patient, as if, such as addressing that or mentioning that the operation will not be successful if you don't do this treatment with it, or if you do not take these kind of medications or supplements, etc., etc. This is not ethical, and this is why the medical tourism sector has got its reputation, unfortunately, or some reputation here because of that. Now, there are ways to basically sneak your way around this, because people use this method because it's the easiest method. Okay?
Yeah,
It's the
right.
easiest method.
They are coming to a country where they don't know anyone, they don't know
Yes.
the language, they're scared. It feels so easy to intimidate them, right? But it's so
To trust.
unethical.
And the patient will feel that, okay, I have spent a lot of money. He'll be under a lot of pressure. I've already traveled, took a vacation from my work, spending money on the plane
Left
tickets and the
everything and
hotel,
I came
etc.
to
etc. Now I have to pay for this. Okay, let's just pay it. But that method will never fruit in good reviews or in
References,
references.
right?
Exactly.
It hurts the brand itself. Like, why would they bring us a reference if they were intimidated to buy
Yes,
something?
allow me to explain how I try to do things. And I don't claim to be an expert in this field. There's a lot of things that I need to learn, and I'm learning everything.
That,
I'm
that,
learning
that's your start. That's
a
your
new
way.
thing every day.
Applies to all of us. Applies to all of us.
So basically, like I mentioned earlier, being fully prepared, and that goes for both, fully prepared regarding your patient, like fully aware or as much as possible aware of the details of your patient and the case, and also fully informed and, how to put it, to know everything about your product.
Yes, of course. To be
Knowledge.
educated
Have
about
the
your
knowledge.
product.
Everything. So
Agree, yeah.
once you explain to the patient after the theater, once you explain to the patient all
Like
the
a doctor.
necessary details,
Seem like a doctor. You
showing
explain.
him that this is really beneficial for you, attacking the pain spots that every individual case has, then the patient will see that, okay, I really need that. And showing him all these things, then mentioning that it's completely optional. We are not saying that without this, the operation is going to fail. Basically giving the illusion of control, the illusion of choice. He has the choice to say no, but it would be very, very idiotic to say
Yeah,
no.
he
very
need- he
wrong to
need
say
it.
no. Yeah,
End of the
He will
day.
feel it. He will feel it in his guts, because now he understands the value. And we're not trying to sell products here. We're trying to sell value. Once the patient understands the value of what he's going to get, then it's just a matter of
He will
It's
start
just a matter
regret.
of how do I pay once they get the value.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And let's face it, if a patient or if a person has, for example, $500 as an example, to pay for something, he has an extra 200 to pay for
Of course.
its accessory.
Of course, of course,
right?
of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever seen someone who buys, for example, a motorcycle without spending a little bit extra money on
For
helmet
sure. Yeah.
or some gear?
Yeah, you buy an iPhone. Next thing you know, you want to buy an AirPods. You want to buy the Apple Watch.
Charger, for God's
You
sake.
want to
Charge-
buy
charge
the
some more.
wireless charger, right? These are all things. But yeah, I can testify for Ammar's education on the product. I mean, one time the laboratory itself came to us and they sat down with Ammar and they learned more about their product from Ammar than they themselves. So yeah, definitely educating yourself. And speaking of which, you know that in clinics there are some successful upsell systems and there are a failure of upsell systems. What kind of advice would you give to people who are watching us on how to construct a healthy upsell system versus an unhealthy upsell system.
Unfortunately speaking, some clinics they do follow the quota method for upsells. That pushes the salespeople in the clinic,
Aggressive
the
sales.
sales agents.
Motivates intimidation.
It's not motivating them basically. It's pushing them to create money, whatever the method is. They just want to create revenue.
Yes. We've seen this.
And you will get
Anyway,
a bad reviews from this.
they wouldn't really care about the bad reviews because the quota system is related only to revenue, not to good reviews or
Yes.
the amount of
You will lose references a
basically
lot.
that you're getting.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point. And yeah, we've seen this in so many clinics where it's either a very strict quota system or it's either no system at all, right? It's either that they consider the person upselling in the clinic, you are the translator, just go translate for the patient. These are two far ends of the spectrum that are complete failure. But I think what we learned today from what you have said, Ammar, having a healthy upsell system has a lot to do with the synergy between the office and the clinic, between the sales team in the office and the sales team in the clinic. And unfortunately, we see this in a lot of clinics where it's constant war between the two departments.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So with that being said, my last question to you, Ammar, would be, for all the upsellers that are watching us, what kind of advice would you give them in order to break these records that you have done, in order to break that psychological barrier, and at the same time, not use intimidation to reach there?
I would say prepare yourself first. Prepare your patient by having good connection with the back office. I would say most importantly, listen. Ask the right question and listen. Listen actively. Like use the active listening skills that you have been training on. Don't just hear him what he's saying. Listen to what he is saying, and the less you talk, the more information you will get.
Yes.
And people, when they talk, they throw a lot of information.
Reveal.
Sometimes they reveal informations that are crucial to sales. Crucial to sales. Every case is different. So you have to search and navigate your way around your patient's case to find the pain points.
Yes.
Once you find the pain points, then you attack those points.
Yes.
Then he will feel this pain and he will understand the true need of the product or the service that you're trying to sell.
Yes.
If your patient agrees on, like, if you guys agreed that he needs it, the negotiation will be very easy.
Very easy, yeah.
No need to apply the same method to all the patient. Each patient have a different method to approach.
Different pain points.
Different pain
basically,
points. Yes.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. Phenomenal advice. Ammar, we couldn't thank you enough for joining us in today's podcast. I'm sure it was super valuable. To us it was, and I'm sure to our audience it was. So thank you all so much for watching today's podcast, and tune in for other episodes. Ammar, we
Thank
really
you.
hope to
Yeah,
see you
appreciate your time.
even more in more episodes, because you have a lot to add to the table.
Thank you so much for having me. I am honored by your invitation again, and I would
You're
love to
welcome.
be with you again.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ammar, and
Ammar.
see you in later episodes.